What's up, guys? How's it going? I hope you're still into TFT, and I'm here to talk with you about the new set 2. And it's actually quite a lot to talk about. We get actually a complete new game, and they improved a lot. So I have already competed in a tournament for the new set, and I've also played a bunch therefore, and it's actually quite great. So what I would like to do is over time a little bit of a tutorial video list. So I will just go over the new stuff you have to do for set to be successful, like when to level, how to economy, what units are good, and it's quite the different playstyle you need now. And what I would like to do now is just go quick over the new synergies we get offered, because there's quite a lot. So how it is basically, we get a bunch of new elements. So we have like elements with like crystal, desert, electric, glacial, and so on. And the classes, they change a little bit as well. we are able to keep rangers and blade masters, and also the assassins, and the rest basically just changes. But there's new cool stuff, so we are getting quite a lot. What I would like to address is quickly just the elements. When we go a bit over the classes, I will tell you guys a little bit what I think is good, and what will show you some comparison to set 1, how some of these things work. So we have the elements. We get the crystal element. That's basically just a little bit of a damage buffer. So you can maximally, if you have a crystal unit, if you have one, it can max take 100 damage, or if you have 4 crystals, 60 damage. What is very important to mention here, if you play with the elementals, most of the time you get the full elemental trait by having a Lux. So Lux is quite a special unit. It comes there and it brings you 2 elemental traits. So if you get an electric Lux or crystal Lux, it counts as 2 crystal units. So you basically only play that unit for the synergies. It's quite a good unit. I think it might be one of the better units, especially when you're building a late game comp. So crystal, what I think is nice, it's not like the super crazy synergy, but it can be nice to counter assassins, because they deal quite a lot of on-hit damage with big crits. Or let's say against mages, if I have like a super stacked brand or something like this. Over the units itself, I will go over in another video, guys. I just want to go over this bit casual, you know. Desert is there. It's quite a nice trade. So you have 50% armor reduction for all of your units, for all of the enemy units, and 90% if you have 4. It's quite nice if there's, for example, someone stacking a lot of armor on their wardens, which is like a very armor heavy archetype. So I like 2 deserts. 4 is a little bit of a bait, but 2 are a nice counter mechanics. They overall introduced more of these mechanics where you can like soft counter the enemy with desert, mystic. We can just go over it furthermore. Electric is pretty nice. I had some cool electric games. So basically what happens, if you deal critical damage or receive critical damage, there's like a shockwave around your hero. And they take 70, 250 or 500, which is actually insane. So I play electrics a little bit to, for example, counter some assassin builds. It's super fun. It's a nice trade. It's not one of the best ones, but it definitely has its use, especially if you get 4 electrics. It's super sweet. When we have the glacials, glacials is okay. Honestly, that's just the trade we had before. It works also exactly the same way, so not much to say there. We come to the infernal trade. So what basically happens if your infernal units deal damage, also some summoners, you like burn the ground, like the hex beneath them, and you get just like 80% burn rate over 5 seconds. If you have 6, you have 175% burn rate, and with 9 you have 275. It's quite a okay trade. The problem is you usually burn the ground under a unit or beneath a unit, and then it walks away, so it's kind of meh. There's better mechanics than this. It's very, very nice for the early game because they're very good early game infernals, so you can just splash it in early. But later it becomes pretty useless. I actually have never gotten the 9 infernals, but I also never had like the best success with it. It can be very good if you make some specific units an infernal with spatula because you burn the whole ground, so that can be nice, but usually I'm not the biggest fan. It's a cool mechanic maybe for the future where we'll buff it a little bit. We get the light synergy. That is actually, it was like a sleeper, especially for the tournament I played. Maybe you heard about it, the Red Bull tournament. It was a super sleeper thing when people started hyper rolling it. So light is actually a little bit like nobles. Not exactly. So how light works, you have like a specific number of light champions, and if one dies, the other ones heal up and they get attack speed. So it can be super nice if you have like a Wayne 3-star, you stack that up, she gets like a lot of attack speed, and when you run an other ranger or you make someone light. So light is super powerful in the current state, but counterable. It's not like there is not such stuff which I like about set, like dragons, for example. It is definitely counterable, but super, super strong currently, especially if you hit 9. And yeah, light is very strong. Cool mechanic though. I like this. Like scalable synergies. I'm a big fan of that. Mountain is basically the good version of Phantom. Let's say not the not so toxic version. You get 1,500 armor on a random unit of yours, which is okay. Don't mind this. Better when my carry is disappearing. We have Oceans, probably the worst element synergy. What it says is you get 15, 30 or 50 mana in all 4 seconds. Problem is it takes a bit slow. Ocean, I think, is one of the worst traits. I really don't like it. The units are okay. And yeah, not a fan of this synergy. Poison. So poison is really good. So you get 3 poison units. And if they deal the poison damage or damage, they increase the mana costs of the units by 50%, which is super powerful against let's say spellcaster teams, something like this. So strong, very good synergy. And the units are also very nice. It's a very nice counter mechanic to spellcaster teams if everyone plays them. So big fan of poison actually. Maybe could be a bit too strong. It's a very toxic mechanic, and I'm not trying to. It's actually toxic. It's so annoying to play against. A cool mechanic. Shadow is basically Imperial, probably strongest synergy in the game overall. Shadow units also so good, all of them. So Shadow is the way to go, guys, if you go early. But I will also give you guys more guidance with this kind of stuff. I will just make more videos what I think about a patch, about some synergies. That's basically what I'm gonna do. I especially wanted to talk about synergies, the new elementals here. Steel, what it does, you get immunity for 2, 3 or 4 seconds, depends how many you have of them, and if they're below 50 health, it's okay. It's a nice synergy if you have like a steel carry like Nocturne or Rek'Sai, and you want them to heal up, because what happens is Nocturne heals up, he goes below 50, gets immunity, and this happens. It's very nice, but honestly I think not the biggest fan of this. It's probably the second worst one. You can utilize it though, so there's that. There's wind or cloud synergy, which is actually crazy. So you get 15, 20 or 30% dodge on your whole team. It's the super yordles, that's how I call it. It's so good. Best elemental synergy by far. If you get Cloud Lux, it's insane. So you can also just utilize it with so many items. Like what Cloud does, it gives you an immediate front line because you're so much tankier. Like 15% dodge chance for 2 is already crazy. They did nerf it a little bit in the new patch, I think, but still, Cloud is so strong. Or Wind. And then there's Woodland. Woodland is so good early on. It falls off into late game a little bit. And I like Woodland. Woodland early on is so strong. It falls off like after the Wolf stage, I think. If this area you shouldn't run Woodland at all anymore, but if you get them before Crux, they're so strong. You copy a Woodland, and it works together with the Druids, which heal up each other, so themselves for 40 health each second. It's like the perfect early game synergy, which falls off into late game. I like them. I don't also think they are broken, but if you can get them early, it feels so good. So this is when it comes to elementals. Also, don't forget, guys, if you have any questions about this or there's a video you would like to see, just ask below. That's a good thing to do. I will definitely read it. Let's go over the classes. There's not too much new stuff since we also get some old classes. Let's just go over that quickly. I was more concerned about the elements. So we have the Alchemist, which is just nothing. Just Sinch being Alchemist who never stops moving. Assassins we had before, they are a little bit buffed on 6 Assassins. Avatar means you, like Cloud, you can only roll Cloud, like you can only roll 1 Lux for Shadow, or if you have a Shadow Lux, you cannot roll, for example, Steel Lux. So that's that. Berserkers, that's completely new. What they do is, if you run 3 Berserkers, you have a chance to hit like the entire units in front of them. It's like a cleave, basically, you get. I personally like 3 Berserkers a lot. 6 Berserkers is a bit hard to find, but it's quite a nice trade, especially if Olaf being a thing, being a super strong unit. I will also go over a unit tier list I will make for the new set probably tomorrow or in 2 days, so you can be excited for this one. And yeah, Berserkers are sweet. I like 3, 6 are a bit too many, and you can combine it with on-hit effects like red buff, disarm, super strong. Blade Masters is basically the old Blade Masters, but now you have 2, 4, 6 instead of 3 Blade Masters you need, so it's quite a lot stronger. One of the strongest synergies you have out there currently, especially if you're like with the Blade Master special. Super good, Masi being your top end. Druids, we talked about this. Good early game. That's it. Super good early game. Maokai, Nico, and Ivern. I love them. They can be a front line for quite a while. Mages, probably one of the worst synergies out there. You can have some fun with them, with making someone a mage carry with the spatula. I'm not a big fan of them. So what you can do is you play 6 mages, you have a 100% chance of double cast. If you get a Vega free and stack him up, that can win you games, but you don't always get that Vega free. So much when it comes to mages. So if you remember Dota Auto Chess, we have the Mystics here. They give you 40 or 120 magic resist, which is basically Nagas. It's a little counter to the spellcasters. I like that something like this is in the game, especially because it's unusually good units. Big fan of the mechanic. I think it was very overtuned in the beginning, but they adjusted very quick. So I like it. It's basically Nagas. So when we have the Predators is basically saying they insta kill a target below 25 health. It's a interesting mechanic. I think it's kind of hard to balance it out. I think the thought behind it is making it very early game heavy and reroll heavy. I think they didn't print a late game Predator on purpose because it can be very strong to execute part of this mechanic. I never had like a super great game like where you play Predators into the end game, but certainly where you early game reroll Predators and go into end game into a different carry, for example Blade Masters or Assassins. Usually go like Predators into Assassins, so it's a nice early synergy. I don't know how the future of this archetype looks though. Pretty excited because I think you can do cool stuff with the Predator synergy, especially with like AoE effects. It can be possibly broken. And we have Rangers. basically the same, guys. You just have more rangers now, and it's 2, 4, and 6. Very good synergy if you can get good items. The next tools are, we have summoners. So you basically summon units, and if you get more, you get 40% increased health and duration on your summons, and with 6, it's kind of the new shapeshifters if you talk about like utility usement. And they are also all very, very good to summoners. If you can make set work. I will also give you guys, oh Jesus, it's early. It's definitely early. I will give you guys some guides how to play certain archetypes. Although I have to say it's not that, let's say, you're not tunnel visioning so much anymore. So there's that. Summoners, new shapeshifters, and wardens are kind of your new guardians. Just that the wardens just get the armor for themselves. That makes it a bit problematic to use them as frontline, honestly. So you have these wardens, you can like stack them with like foreign males, war monks. It makes them really strong. If you have these wardens online, you get a lot of armor. Problem is you get a bit countered by desert, which is also a good thing. Wardens overall are for me like a B tier synergy. Summoners are probably A tier. And then at the top you see like Blade Masters. We will also have a full tier list for the synergies, the classes, and for the units. Yeah, if you guys have any further questions, feel free to ask below the video. I will definitely do more of this stuff for set 2, especially. I hope on your side you enjoyed it, and have a nice day. See you guys in the next video, and have fun with set 2. It's great.